get started.
So to what extent is the national government responsible for the welfare and security of the individual?
I think the extent is halfway between people, the citizens, and the government. Like they're both responsible equally, because...
Like a 50-50 split?
50-50 split.
Okay.
Because there's people who want a job but don't do anything about it, and there's people who want a job but do so much about it, and, so it depends
and
really.
And still can't get a job even when they're trying really hard.
Yeah, it depends. Like, if there's people that are trying to look for a job, and they're actually trying, and they're looking because they need to support their family or something, and there isn't any of that out there for them, and they can't afford food or anything like that, basic things that they need, or hot water or something, then the government should be responsible for that and being able to provide that for them. But if there's people like that want a job but they're just lazy and they don't care to look for one, and they're so poor and they don't have food, then that's their problem, because they aren't actually trying, they aren't looking. It would be a difference if they were. Now, because the government is here to protect us from like other countries and just protect us, I guess, and keep us safe and stuff, but if we're like, people are trying to look for a job but can't afford food and everything, people are getting sick and dying or whatever the cause may be for them, then that would be the government's fault, because it's like, what's the sense of having a government if we're already, dying or whatever the case may be, and yet they're not doing anything about it. They're just doing laws or whatever they do, I think they should be able to provide food and stuff like that. So I think they're both equally responsible.
Okay, so what kind of programs do you think that would help with that? So if that's 50% responsibility, how would that change programs now that we currently have?
Well, I'm sure there would be programs like the family shelf, the food shelf. That's a good program. Having a program like the family center, but like having maybe a teacher or something, like having an office at the school, like where the lobby and thing is, and having like...
So a member of like the family center here to help out.
Or somebody to like help kids and seniors and stuff find a job and like, actually look and go out and shadow places and stuff like that, and also do it with adults too, so then they have that opportunity to do it, because it's there, people know about it and stuff. So like programs like that, food shelf programs, like the family center.
And what about like for housing? What do you think about Section 8 housing?
What is that?
So Section 8 housing is a housing you have to get into by income, and it's affordable housing. So people who might be on disability and can't afford like to spend $1,200 for rent, like that's the going cost, that it's more like it would make their cost would be like $700 a month, and the government would pay the rest. But there's not a lot of it. Would you put more of that, make that available?
I would put more of that and make that available for the government, and helps pay for the rest that they can't. But at the same time, the government could also pay for somebody to help them, find a better job, or use money to spend wisely, or whatever they need.
Good. What about food stamps? Would you agree?
Food stamps, yes, I think.
What if people aren't trying?
If people aren't trying, I mean, you can't just shut them out and be like, defend for yourself. But then again, we that freedom we should have, I mean, if you can't do it, you can't do it. But then again, we also needed chances. I mean, I'm sure, like, if people just aren't trying or whatever, and whenever they get food stamps or something like that, then I think that they should have it for that time. But then after a while, maybe it should expire, and then they'd have to get a job to get it back or something like that.
Or show that they're trying.
Show, and like...
Because there could be some obstacle in their way, like maybe they hurt their back at work, there could be some obstacle in the way that they might not be able to get it, or they went through like a really hard time, and you think that would be okay to...
Yeah.
Feel it?
Alright.
I think you could go to Mr.